For those of you who are watching live, say hello, leave us some comments. Any questions come up for you, please pop them in on the Facebook page. For those of you who are watching the replay, please send us some love, send us some hearts, and if you have any questions at all, just tag me or Bethany, and we'll be happy to get back to you on that. So I'm just going to bring it up, make sure I can see if any questions pop up.
What's your Instagram name, really quickly? I'm just doing a post.
Yeah, it's at with Sarah Mack.
There we go.
Awesome.
That's why. Okay, perfect. Yay.
So I'm just double checking it's actually streaming. If anyone's watching, please can you put a hello?
Yes.
It's not showing up.
Okay.
Come on, Zoom. Come on, technology.
I know.
It's having a little bit of a slow day like me.
Oh, it's okay. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That's okay. It's the summer.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going on holiday next week.
Oh, yay.
And I think it's time for a holiday.
Yes, it is.
Just want to do nothing on the beach for an
I
entire.
know. Welcome to the club. Okay, I just did a Facebook post. So, oh, did it not save? There, I'm having issues with Facebook lately. Huh. Okay. Or, I mean, Instagram, not Facebook. Oh, there we go. It worked. Okay.
Okay. It says that it's streaming live.
Okay.
I'm not seeing it. And computer's being super slow. Are you able to log on to
See on Facebook? Yeah, let me check right now.
Thank you.
Let's see. And it's going to be in the group, right?
Yeah.
So, let me check. Mine's giving me a thinking sign too. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're live.
Oh, okay. It's awesome. Okay, awesome. I don't know why it's not showing up for me.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'll try and bring this up. But anyway, let's get started. So thank you so much for joining us and being in the group and sharing your social media queen wisdom with us. So we've got Bethany Michaels with us. Do you want to give us a little introduction into what it is that you do, like what your story is, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, my name is Bethany. I started a marketing business about 2 years ago, and I have recently kind of refined where my focus is, but my main areas of expertise are in social media management, blogging, and newsletter creation. So I've worked in the marketing industry for over 10 years. I graduated with a degree in writing, and so those two things coupled together really helped me to serve my clients better. And I've worked with a lot of SEO companies, so it's nice to have that knowledge of how to rank online as well. So yeah.
Awesome. So many juicy topics to dive into. And actually, yeah, SEO is something that would be really great to talk about, that I've been thinking about, sharing some more on that, because it is kind of an important subject. It's also can be a little bit overwhelming if you don't have like a techie background, or you don't want to, in the early stages of a business, fork out for, paying immediately off that search engine optimization. So I was wondering if you had any simple sort of strategies or techniques that people can start to implement themselves, or just what people should know so that they're not like really fearful and overwhelmed about SEO and can use it to their advantage.
Yes. And I know the feeling of, oh my gosh, hiring an SEO company, you kind of feel like you're just a number in the queue and you don't really know what you're getting. So I do have some really specific things that you can do organically by yourself to help you with ranking. And to be honest with you, hope I'm not taking away any business from big SEO companies, but just seeing and working with people in that industry, there are so many things that you can do as an individual, even contract out for a lot less expensive. So one thing that I want to focus on specifically is, and as you know, SEO it's a beast. It's really, really hard to understand. There's so many different parts to it, but there are a few different things that I think will really help. So the one thing that is still king, content is king. So I know that Google and the internet likes new content that's well written, not like some robot or boring, stale content. So having fresh content on your website. But more specifically, something that I want to dive into a little deeper that, you know, people that are watching that can do and implement right now would be, it's called a blog hop. So I worked at a publishing company for a few years in the social media department and as a writer, a blog writer there. And I don't have the statistics offhand, but the jump in traffic that we received when we worked with multiple people collaborating together was amazing. So I can, even after this Facebook Live, if anyone wants to have like a free consultation with me, I can show them in more detail. But just for now, I'll explain. Basically what you do is you host a blog, and me and you should do this together, and we should all do this together, honestly, if we're all in a similar industry. Maybe we can put one on the calendar. So basically what you do is you pick a day on the calendar. You say, all right, I'm going to launch. It has to be something interesting. Maybe we're going to talk about how SEO is going to help you. So we pick a day on the calendar, maybe 2 months or 3 months down the line, because you have to plan for it. Let's say in October, we're going to launch this blog hop. And then basically we all contribute our own blog on our own website, and it links back to the original blog post. So if I were to host the blog hop, I would probably get a huge surge in traffic, because what it tells Google, I always refer to SEO as like high school when you're hanging out with the popular kids, right? So whenever you're around that one cool dude, the football player, or whatever it was at your school, that's how SEO works. When you are affiliated with that really high-ranking website, your content is going to be boosted because it tells Google, wow, that website's credible. You must be credible too. So it's basically, it's almost like its own social network, if you will. So I know I'm talking a lot. Tell me to stop if I'm going off on tangent.
Thank you. And that's really generous of you to make that offer as well. Thank you. Everybody will jump on that. And I love it. I think everything in business, for me, seeing it from a feminine perspective boils down to community and supporting each other. And I love, ways like that where we can all support each other and it helps all of us out. That's really what it's about. So yeah, we should definitely organize that. So just I'm a little bit confused. One person writes a blog and then everybody links to that person and then we like take it in turns.
Exactly. So basically, and then people can take what I'm doing and implement them themselves, right? They might have a different industry. So they might want to host, if you're a jewelry designer, you might want to host a blog hop for yourself on your own website, and you book 5 people that are affiliated with you. But for me, if I were to host the blog hop, I would probably be getting the one with a lot of surge in traffic, but everyone else would too, because we're all affiliated. So basically what we would do is we pick a day on the calendar. I would say we're launching this October 10th. So then I book each person a week in advance. So it's like every single week a blog is going out until, that would be like the end of the blog hop. So we would launch it on, I'm so sorry, no wonder you're confused. I'm confused. So we would launch it on my blog, and then we would have an end date, and we would book people out every single week until the end date. And basically every single blog at the end in a call to action would say, and usually it makes most sense if you're going to do a giveaway and give people some incentive to comment or to win something. So we could all go in on something together, whatever makes sense for our industry. And then link back to the website, and you would say, hey, for the original post, check out here to enter to win. Or they can enter to win on that person's blog too. So I hope that makes sense.
Okay. And that's the subject that connects to that original post, is like the post is about a giveaway.
Exactly. So let me give you an example of like the one that I actually did one recently. And so let's say we're all in the marketing industry and we want to do a giveaway for an hour consultation, or I don't know, whatever it would be, like even if we purchase something that would be interesting to our audience, like a trip to, I don't know, let's say a $100 gift card to a spa. So on the original blog post, it would say blog hop plus spa giveaway. And then I would write and I would say, hey guys, I'm Bethany. I'm so excited to be doing this blog hop with Sarah, Jessica, Jenna, and Sue from all these different companies. I would tag all of you guys so that your keywords would be in my blog. And then at the end, I would say, here's what we're going to do. We're launching it today. Every single week until October 10th, they're going to be posting blogs on their site. Make sure you stick around. Every entry on the blog is an extra entry to win. So you're just giving incentives and you're just building that momentum. And the more comments on your blog and your website, the better, because again, it tells Google that you're active and you're popular and keywords are good. So just generating that buzz. And so, yeah, originally it would be hosted there, but then I would explain all the directions, and then every single other person part of the blog hop would just link back at the end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Okay.
So word on the street is you're a bit of a genius when it comes to Yelp and Pinterest. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and why you're such a big fan of those social media platforms for getting your business out there?
I think just because it's worked for me, and I don't like doing things that don't work. I don't like funneling money into something that's not working for me. So 2 years ago when I started my business, I just created a Yelp page, not really thinking anything of it. I was like, well, I might as well throw an address up here and a couple photos. But that is pretty much, other than word of mouth, my number one lead source. I've never spent a dollar in advertising. So it works. And then also with Pinterest, if you're an aesthetically, if you're a business that's aesthetically pleasing, like interior design or jewelry or anything like that, even we could generate content in a marketing industry. Pinterest is an amazing source. It's kind of like an SEO engine to generate traffic back to your website and get you more clients or leads. I've never, and I don't know if you've seen anything different, I've rarely ever seen Twitter convert into a lead. So if your goal is to get real leads and real website traffic, I would go with Pinterest. If your goal is to get real leads and real customers, I would choose Yelp if you are a local or a service-based industry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's your, so do you want to just share us a few like simple strategies of, say, things that would be, good to help you build a Yelp profile if that's something that you're interested in?
Yeah. So if you wanted to start a Yelp page, it's like just as simple as just starting a Yelp page. So log in, create a business account. I think it's yelp.com/biz or biz.yelp.com or something. Just create your business profile page. It's pretty easy step-by-step and shows you, upload photos. And then if you want to optimize it, make sure you have your bio in there, your company information. Make sure you're doing keywords that are relevant to your industry. There's a difference between short tail keywords and long tail keywords. A short tail keyword would be the word jewelry. A long tail keyword would be the word well, that didn't work. Like earrings. And then a long tail keyword would be like silver plated earrings, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there's two different ways to do it. So yeah, make sure you include your keywords in there. And then from there, Yelp is very tricky because it likes to filter out real reviews. And it doesn't like soliciting. So if you call your friends and say, hey, give me a review, that might not be the best way to do it. But usually what I do with my clients is I usually just send them an email. I say, hey, we've been working together for 6 months now. I would greatly appreciate your feedback on my Yelp page. You don't ask them for a 5-star review. You don't ask them to write a review. You just ask for their feedback. And when you get more reviews, the more you're going to be pushed up in the search ranking. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So that really, really from your perspective, it's just asking your clients to leave reviews, and then it kind of does the work for you.
Exactly. And I've noticed that, I have had real reviews from real clients. Oh, sorry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
It cut out for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's like being weird right now. Okay. I can hear you, I think.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, good. We're good.
Cool.
So, yes. I was just going to say, sometimes it will filter out real reviews, and it's frustrating to business owners that are like, man, I worked with that person and they're a real person and they had a great experience and you filtered it out. But with Yelp's algorithm, it's really tricky, but basically real reviews from real people is what's going to be best,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so what's your strategy with Pinterest?
Okay. So with Pinterest, I'm thinking of launching a workshop for this actually, but there's a group board strategy that I do. It's just like, so you have your own Pinterest board, right? You have 10 boards and you have 100 followers. Well, that's great, but that's not a ton of people seeing your stuff. So when you join these group boards, it's kind of like the blog hop. When you join the group board, you immediately get tons more exposure. So I would search for group boards within your industry. There's a website that I use called pingroupie.com. You can search other group boards, and I have a strategy on how to do it. And it's really detailed. So I'm thinking of launching a workshop for it, because it's a really intricate, step-by-step thing. But I would say that even if you just, so basically what you do is you reach out to these different boards. There's people that organize them. So you reach out to that person, ask to join the group board. Once you've joined, then you can start pinning to that board. And then instead of 100 people seeing it, some boards have 200,000 followers. So you'll have 200,000 people seeing your stuff. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And what's your take on Instagram? What's your approach to that, and how useful that is for business?
Oh my gosh. Well, personally, I'm addicted to it, but yeah, I think there's so many different things. I know you can do Facebook ads. I know there's IGTV. I think you really have to find your niche and your group and what works for you. And I think it's really important, as we're doing now, to collaborate with other people. There's tons of brand influencers, and I know you've probably seen when people are following you, you get these automated messages. I'm really not a fan of that. I think when you're a real person and you are putting out stuff organically, you're going to attract an audience organically. So I'm more of an organic approach to everything, but that might not generate in tons and thousands of followers right away. But as long as you're putting out content that's valuable, then you're going to convert real people to fans, and then eventually they might turn into a lead. The thing that is funny is I'm talking the talk, but I'm not walking the walk. I really want to start doing workshops, and I think that those are really helpful. If you're able to provide value to a widespread audience at one time, that's why I want to start doing those workshops. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I guess I have. Yeah.
So you're thinking that because obviously you've got an audience on Instagram, one way to engage a lot of those people is by running a workshop and promoting it there as a way to bring them in as a lead.
I think so. If you have a product, or a product could be something you're selling, or it could be a workshop. You can absolutely use Facebook's story or ads to capture someone's information, and that's why I do those newsletters every month. But capturing their interest, and if they like you and they want to subscribe to you, they're doing it on their own accord. then you're able to use that audience. It's like your niche little group of people. And then you're able to, I don't want to say sell to them, but you're able to offer your services and what you can offer to them as a value to them, to that specific group. And I find that that's really important, because it's more important to target a really small niche group rather than a huge, broad group that might not ever want to buy from you or ever, you know, really turn into a lead if that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. So what's your view on the importance of, you know, kind of doing like one or two social media platforms really well, versus, you know, diversifying and being present in a lot of different places?
Yeah. So I think that's really relative to what industry you're in and what works for you. So I know that's a very vague answer, but for me, I don't do LinkedIn. I don't do Twitter. I do Snapchat personally, but I choose Yelp and Pinterest and Instagram because I look at my insights and I see, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, it's about numbers. It's about what's converting, and it's about what, you know, it's about numbers. So I do what works for me. And LinkedIn might work for someone who's in the construction industry, and Instagram might not be a great place. So I usually encourage my clients to stop spending money and wasting resources on diversifying themselves on all these things. It doesn't convert to a sale. That's just how I approach it. If they want to have brand presence, that's one thing. And they just want to be out there and they want to share their transparency of their business. I find that that's a great tool to, Instagram and Facebook are a great tool to use for that. But at the end of the day, my suggestion is if it's not converting to a sale, don't waste your money or your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you have any kind of guidelines for people when they're choosing which social media platforms to focus on?
Yeah, so I think kind of, like I said before, but I can go into more detail. For aesthetic, like beautiful, if you're selling a product, I would do Pinterest and Instagram. Those are very, and Instagram is especially interested in people, not necessarily, this is my knowledge, not necessarily things, unless it's like a product that they're in love with. So, and then if you are, LinkedIn, for example, obviously is more professional. If you're trying to connect with other like-minded industries, there is one thing I would suggest Twitter for, would be, this is what I've done for other companies, and it actually was amazing. So there's Twitter chats. There's hour-long Twitter chats for different industries. There's an interior design one on Wednesdays, and during that chat, it's this very congregated specific chat where you're able to concentrated is the word I was looking for, where you're able to connect with tons of other individuals and like-minded people within your industry that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. And I've seen that sprawl into guest blog posts, collaborating together on different social media posts. So that was really amazing. So if you look in your industry online, just search Twitter chat within your industry, you should be able to find one, and maybe you can join that every week. And then, yeah, I think it just depends on, I know Facebook advertising works really, really well for product-based businesses, especially if their ads are interesting and have usually videos convert really well to tell stories. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent now, but I hope that kind of explained it.
Yeah, super helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
When you're creating content, how do you approach the balance between being, like product and service focused and like personal story focused in terms of like brand building and connecting with audiences?
Oh, okay. Can you say that again? I'm so sorry. It kind of cut out. So
sorry. Yeah. So when you're creating content
mm-hmm.
for brands and companies, what's your approach to finding the balance between, being very focused on like the product and the service versus mm-hmm. being focused on like the personal story and creating connection, like personal connection with audiences?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've heard of this, but I usually go by, it's called like an 80-20 rule. So 80% is based on the transparency of the business. If, say there's a holiday that day, or you have a new staff member, or you're launching a new product, or you had a bad day. Bringing the person or the persona into the business, however you want to show that, is very important. That's kind of like the 80%, the transparency. Then the 20% would be more sales based, or, hey, guess what? We're featuring this new service, and then link them back to the website. So I usually do links with the 20% so that they have somewhere to go, a call to action, something to do with what you're offering them. So that's usually kind of how I approach it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that rule. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of this really valuable content and your wisdom with us today. So do you want to let us know how people can follow you, get in touch with you if they want to work with you, what you've got going on?
Yeah, so my website is Content Social Media Queen. You can contact me on there. I have an online form you can fill out. I'm on Instagram. I have a personal account and a business account. Both should be available on my website. And yeah, or I mean, you can email me, call me, anything. I'm here. You should be able to stalk me on my website. And like I said, I'm happy to do. If you have any questions, I'm happy to just kind of chat for 15 minutes and give you my insights.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bethany. And for those of you watching the replay, if you have any questions, just tag Bethany or me below and we will get to them. So thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day.
You. You too.